I started reading again, trying to make myself tired. Back to Genesis. I've been asleep 2 or 3 times. I keep waking up. These new dressings. This time they didn't put the special cream on underneath the dressing because now they want the wounds to dry out a bit. Yeah, it's I'm not taking it. Nurofen and stuff isn't going to touch the sides, and I'm not having any more codeine because it's bad. It's bad. It's just bad for you. It gives me I don't get any sleep anyway with that shit. It gives me nightmares. Because they're a drug made from alchemy. Everything's drugs. It's all drugs. Doesn't matter whether you get it from the chemist or your local dealer around the corner. It's drugs. Some are worse than others, and I think most of the bad ones come from the chemist. I'm fucking convinced of that. The worst ones. Kind of like, off track to what I'm about to talk about, but it's kind of like antidepressants. Who the hell wants to take an antidepressant that gives you suicidal tendencies? Eh? Possible side effects. What are they? Nausea, suicidal tendencies and thoughts, and depression. It's supposed to save you from you're supposed to take away your depression, not compound on the depression you already have. Why the fuck would you? What the fuck? Okay. Chapter 2 is about relationships. Genesis, I'm getting my head round pretty easy. I reckon I dove a bit deep by going so far into going to Matthew earlier. I get what Matthew meant, but I'm struggling to find a way to explain it. I'll get my head round that. We'll revisit that sometime. Feel free to jump on and have a conversation, guys. Like, I know I've only got 4 subscribers. I'm not in it for the subscribers. But feel free to share it around because you're getting a real layman's terms study of the Bible and how I'm translating it, what it means to someone to try to grasp full meaning from it without someone in my ear telling me what it means when they're probably leading me astray, Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day God finished his work that had been done, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work that he had done. So on the 7th day, I dare say, he worked until lunchtime like some people do to finish it off, but he rested on the 7th day, and he decided, that's enough. I think we need to chill for a day. Get away from it for a day. I'm starting to yawn now because I'm reading. It's good for you. So God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it God rested from all his work that he had done in creation. Which means he gets to enjoy what he created. Hence the saying, don't forget to stop and smell the roses. Don't forget to appreciate the things that you create. Don't forget to appreciate those who help you to create it, who allow you to create it. Those who you create it for. I did that once. I took one Sunday off a month, working 80 hours a week, running a business and being a manager for Woolworths. It wrecked me. And I wasn't present for my family. I read 3 verses. 3 verses. 3 sentences, but pretty much, not even a paragraph. There are the generations of the heavens and the earth. No, sorry. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, when no bush of the field was yet in the land, and no small plant of the field had yet sprung up. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the land, and there was no man to work the ground. And the mist was going up from the land, and was watering the whole face of the ground. Then the Lord God formed the man of dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. Right? Ruah. The Hebrew word for breath is ruah. Ruah. Okay, just because it is. Might want to do some research on what each component of the word ruah, each letter of the word ruah, giving it that it's a sound. Excuse me. It's a sound with representations for the vowels, because the Hebrew language has no vowels. And the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground the Lord God made to spring up every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Keep that in mind for later. The river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there it divided and became 4 rivers. The name of the first is the Pishon. It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. So there's gold, bdellium and onyx. Onyx is quite a valuable stone. There you go. It's a biblical stone. The name of the second river is the Gihon. It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Cush. You can find old enough maps, you can find these places. They do exist. And the name of the third river is the Tigris. That's got to be somewhere in the Middle East, doesn't it? In the east somewhere. Tigris. It's got to be somewhere in an Asian part of Europe, which flows east of Assyria. There's a hint. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. Euphrates, that's still today, isn't it? We have a Euphrates river. The Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree in the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die. Then the Lord God said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper to fit him, a helper fit for him. Okay, this is for all you people confused about genders and stuff and what role you play. This is for you guys. Now out of the ground the Lord God had formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he should call them, what he would call them. So we got to name our own creatures. Okay, Adamah, man, got to name the creatures. And whatever the man called every living creature, that was in its name. the man gave names to all livestock, and to the birds of the heavens, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper fit for him. So the Lord God went through everything that he had created. Everything. And none of them were fit for man. Okay, we have man's best friend, but not man's partner. Man's best friend is a dog. Okay? But there probably wasn't such a thing as a domestic dog right at the start, was there? There certainly wasn't one of them purse chihuahuas. Right? So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. And while he slept, took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. And the rib so I'm guessing man had an extra rib. We was left with an even amount of ribs. Or did he take the rib back out of the woman to replace the one he took from the man to make room for the womb? And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man. So he's obviously used DNA there, genetic DNA, but altered it to make it a woman. He's changed the chromosome. Right? It's obvious to those who want to look at it scientifically, scientifically biological, whatever you want to call it. Then the man said, This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she has taken out of man. She was taken out of man. Okay? But Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife. This is gold. And they shall become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. Dude, there's everything in that. They hadn't committed a sin yet, right? They were both naked and not ashamed. But before all of that, what did man have to do before he was granted a relationship? Before he was granted a wife? Had to do all of his work. Had to get his shit together. He had to name everything, put everything in its place. He had to know what he could and couldn't eat. He had to work the ground. He had to provide to make sure that the woman could eat. He had to make sure he could take care of the woman. Okay? He had to make sure that there was knowledge, not the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, knowledge, just the knowledge of the land, the knowledge of what was needed to be known to take care of the woman. Okay? He'd done all that, and then he was granted a wife by the Father. And therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife. Mother-in-laws and father-in-laws, butt out of your children's relationships unless it's asked for. If your advice is asked for, give it. But don't try to treat your son or daughter's marriage, relationships, whatever. Don't try to treat that as an extended family of yours. They're not yours anymore. They are their own family. You are their extended family. They're not yours. Okay? That's why a father gives his daughter away at a wedding. He gives his daughter away to a man who's already got his shit together. That's how it's supposed to be. I've made that mistake. or have children out of wedlock and didn't have me shit together. I've got to look God in the eyes one day and say I am actually really fucking sorry about that, because the children suffered for it and still do. Broken homes, okay? Okay? Therefore the man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. They become one. A man and a woman become one. Not a man and a man, not a woman and a woman. It doesn't work. They can't become one, because I'll be crude. That doesn't work, and that doesn't work, but that does, okay? I can't be any more blunt than that. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. They weren't ashamed until they ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and then they were ashamed to be naked in front of God. How do you know you was naked? I'll go on into that next time. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil isn't because the snake told the woman to eat an apple. She was tempted by sin. She was tempted by sin, and Adam didn't pull her up on it, and he did not stop the sin. And where they really fucked up, you know when your kids are fucked up, you know when they've done wrong, and you know when they're lying to you about it and trying to handball it to someone else, pass the buck, not take responsibility for it. Eve blamed the servant. And then when it came to Adam's questioning, he blamed Eve instead of taking responsibility and saying, I did not stop the sin in its tracks. Ultimately, it was Adam's responsibility. He was there first. He knew the rules. It doesn't say in there where God had told Eve not to eat of the tree of good and evil. He told Adam. Adam didn't uphold the rule of law in the Garden of Eden. Hence, sin was born. Obviously, they committed some pretty funky boom chicka wow wow, didn't they? And then they were shy all of a sudden about their nakedness in front of somebody else, when prior to that, they weren't ashamed of it, they weren't shy of it. Because they had not yet been told to go forth and multiply. They did things that they shouldn't have done. Probably a bit too young. We'll find out in the next exciting chapter of the Bible. And God bless you and brr for now.